Hi, everyone. Melissa May here, tuning in from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I have the pleasure of hosting our Inspire Better series call for Team Keto Evolution. We are a team at Pruvit. I am a rank 8 promoter at Pruvit, and I love getting to host these calls because number one, I love getting to share ketones with you. And number two, I love getting to share something that's inspirational in someone's story with you. And tonight I have an incredible story. Before I have Kim share her story, I would just like to share, if you're new here and you're kind of curious about ketones, I'm going to show you guys a little bit about what it is. So what we're talking about here is ketones, not the diet. A lot of people get started with ketones because they're interested in the diet. But the truth is, you don't have to be on the diet to benefit from ketone. I have a 10-day drink ketone challenge kit here, and this is how I recommend most people get started. It's the best deal per packet. It comes with 20 packets of ketones in it, 10 caffeinated and 10 decaffeinated. And literally all you do is you put this in water, you shake it up, you drink it within 30 minutes, and you experience the benefits of being in ketosis within an hour, regardless if you've followed the diet, regardless of if you're perfect on the diet, you're still going to get the benefits of being in ketosis. What those benefits look like, most likely the things you'll start to feel first are like how it impacts your brain. So mental clarity, focus, you'll feel very alert. You're going to start noticing that your cravings and your appetite are not as strong. You're not, going to the pantry every couple minutes. After some time, you'll notice fat loss. That's one of the main reasons people start drinking ketones. And the increased energy is one of my favorite benefits. So I would love to hear from you guys. What is your favorite benefit of ketones? Drop it in the chat. But for me, I'm a mom of toddlers. I have almost 5-year-old twins and a 2-year-old. And I don't know how I would survive motherhood without something like this. The energy, the focus, the mental clarity, when so many things are going on around me, just the ability to focus my attention and do it with a lot of energy and do it feeling happy and feeling good, that means a lot to me and it means a lot to my kids, right? And so I always like to say, the fat loss is a byproduct of all the extra energy you have, all the extra movement you're getting in throughout your day, and then the incredible appetite control that this helps us with. You're eating less, you're naturally eating less, right? So what happens when you're moving more and you're eating less, you're most likely in a calorie deficit and you see fat loss, you see results. This is an incredible tool. If you are on the keto diet, it's just going to heighten and maximize what you're already doing. I can't tell you how often people start the keto diet and then they get frustrated because they actually struggle to get in ketosis with the diet alone because it is strict. You have to have a certain amount of fat, a certain amount of protein, and a certain amount of carbohydrates, which is a very low amount of carbohydrates, to actually start producing ketones naturally. What if you could kind of have a more lenient diet, a more flexible lifestyle, still be carb conscious, which is what we like to teach people, make healthy carb conscious decisions, make decisions that reduces the amount of sugar you're consuming, but then drink the ketones to know that you're in ketosis, right? And so you can kind of have the best of both worlds. And that's why I love this so much. And so tonight we're going to share Kim's story. I just adore Kim. I just absolutely adore her. She has lost 38 pounds of fat. But her story is interesting because I know a lot of you could probably relate. She has adult children. She's now a grandma. She was going through that menopause stage in her life. She was an empty nester, didn't have a lot of, community around her. She was working a lot, but not super happy at her job. And she was just going through the kind of like struggles that most women do go through when they start getting into that menopause age, right? Tired, weight gain, hard to lose it, just moody, right? And so she's going to kind of share her experience with ketones, maybe like what your perception was about ketones before you started drinking them, what you experienced from the ketones, and then we'll go from there. So Kim, would you please unmute and tell us a little bit about your experience drinking ketones? And I would love to also know if you followed the keto diet or you didn't follow the keto diet. Like, why did you start drinking that?
Yeah. So, hey, thank you, Melissa. Super excited to share how and why I got started. So it really did start with menopause, and I didn't even know that I was really in menopause, other than the fact that I was super moody. I was exhausted all the time, and decision making became very difficult. And I mean, I was in the restaurant business for 35 years. I was, I wouldn't say I'm expert at my job, but I was very experienced. And I all of a sudden started questioning every decision I made. Even getting dressed became a hard decision to make. And I think it just with the hormones and menopause and all of those things. And then on top of it, I had rapidly gained about 20 pounds on my frame that was already 20 pounds overweight. So all of that like kind of beat down my confidence, and I kind of started feeling anxiety that I never experienced ever in my life before. So that's what took me to the doctors, because I was nervous. I was scared. I didn't know what the heck was going on with me. And basically he did blood work and said, hey, like you're in menopause. That's what's going on. And he's like, so it's time to take that weight off, because it's not a good thing to be carrying around. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of why I'm here. And his advice was move more, eat less. And so I was like, okay, well, that's kind of a joke. So I left feeling so defeated. But I thought to myself, I'm not the first person that's experienced this. There's no way. There's got to be a ton of women out there dealing with this. So I did what, most people should do, is go to Dr. Google and, and utilize Facebook, because that's where all the answers of the world are found. And what I did find, though, was a solution. So, yeah, I started seeing this lady, and she was sharing about all this amazing energy that she had. And I thought, wow, like she was a brand new mom, and she looked fantastic. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know. I mean, the energy that she had was unbelievable. And I thought, if I could just get that piece back into my life, then I have a good solution. So after being skeptical for a while, watching her for a while, I finally reached out, and I didn't tell my husband that I was going to drink ketones. It was all a secret, because in my mind was like, is this going to be another one of those things that I try that doesn't work? And so now, mind you, this is like 4 years ago. So on day 3 of drinking ketones, my husband says to me, Kim, what are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? No, there's something different about you. Like, I need to know. And I was like, well, like what? And he's like, I feel like I have my wife back. And I was like, well, I don't think I understand what you're asking. Like, what do you mean? And he's just like, you just seem happy again. And that was day 3. Now I felt something different by day 3, but I didn't realize that I was showing up different. And he noticed it. And he's like, I don't care. I said, okay. I'm drinking this thing, this powder. I mix it up. I put it, in water, and I drink it. And he said, don't ever stop. He said, I feel like for the first time in a really long time, I have my wife back. I was like, okay, that's pretty powerful. So, I, over time, I was able to take off 38 pounds of fat. Decision making became a lot easier again. It brought me a sense of peace, that like something wasn't crazy wrong with me, but it also gave me the energy to just like function like I was functioning before, but even better. Like people at work even noticed. They're like, what's with you? Like you're like a ball of energy. And I just said, I'm just drinking this drink and I feel great. So, it literally just put me it put me back together. It gave me that balance and that peace in my life that I think was missing for so, so long. So yes, I was a skeptic, and yes, I didn't tell anybody until people started to notice. And then after that, I knew, like my husband said, like, you can't ever stop, because I don't want you to ever go back to feeling that way ever, ever again. So, and I was amen to that. So,
Wow, that's incredible. And so, you know, something that I heard you say was that you saw someone who was a new mom who had a ton of energy, which I had the same experience. I was a brand new mom of twins when when I decided to start drinking ketones. I had known about them for about a year, and I thought I like put them in the same category as like those wraps that you put around I just thought it was a gimmick. I really did. I didn't recognize and realize that there was a lot of actual science behind it until I was ready and open to understand it, right? And so, but what I heard you say is you saw a new mom who had tons of energy. I experienced the same thing. I had more energy than any new mom should ever have. But what's interesting to me is that you didn't start on the keto diet and then decide to drink ketones. You had a doctor that told you you need to lose weight. He told you to eat less and move more. You saw someone with a lot of energy, and you're like, well, if I need to move more, I need more energy to do that. Mm-hmm. And so you decided to start ketones. And so you've had this incredible experience. You get the benefits, and you've never really fully been strict keto, right? So what has your diet looked like?
yeah. So I just basically eat low carb. I mean, because for me at this point in my life, I just turned 55. I didn't want to do anything strict. I wanted something that was enjoyable, but didn't feel like I was hungry all the time, or that I felt satisfied. And I felt that low carb was the perfect fit. And that seemed to be combined with the ketones, exactly what my body needed. And I went back 6 months after for a checkup, and the doctor was blown away that I had lost 38 of the pounds that I had packed on. And he was like, I cannot even believe the difference. And I was honest with him. I said, hey, doc, just so you know, you failed at my last appointment. Like, telling me a woman in menopause to move more and eat less is just, like I said, I wanted to wring your neck. And I love him, but so from that day forward, he promised me he will never, ever tell a woman that ever again, especially when she's in that phase. So you got to be honest, and because they're not perfect either. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I mean, and that's why I got to share it. I have to share it because no one should be suffering,
Yeah. And you know what? You made such a great point. Like, we want to enjoy life. And also what you just inspired me to think of was, how simple is it now, I'm not going to put your age out here. I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but like, you're in your 50s, right? Mm-hmm. How easy is it for someone in their 50s or above to mix this in water and drink it, right? Versus trying to go out there and do some type of workout program, completely change your whole lifestyle that you've been accustomed to for years and years and years, completely change your diet when, like, you know what, you want to enjoy life at this point in your life. Like, if you want to eat the cake, you want to eat the cake. Why have to be miserable? Why have to struggle when you can actually just find something like this that has a lot of science behind it to incorporate into a healthier lifestyle? I'm not telling you to be gluttonous or indulgent. You can indulge every once in a while, follow low carb, but you don't have to change your whole lifestyle to have the results. And I think for a lot of people, that's probably very overwhelming, is when they think that they have to change everything, start working out, do all these crazy clean diets with listen, the second you tell me I can't use like ranch dressing or something, I'm done. I'm not going to do it. Right. And so I love that. I love that this lifestyle just gives us the opportunity to enjoy our meals, enjoy our food, get the benefits of keto without worrying about being perfect, without worrying about doing these strenuous workouts and crazy meal plans and all that. So Kim, you fell in love with the ketones, your husband noticed the difference, and then you decided to join the community. What did that look like for you? I would love to know more about your experience with the Pruvit community as a promoter. Were you ready to be a promoter from day one, or what did that look like for you?
Yeah, so it just made sense. I mean, I was in a career of restaurant business for 35 years, like I said. Was I ready for it? No, I had no idea what it entailed, but drinking ketones did for me, it changed my life. And I thought I should not, keeping it to myself felt like I was being selfish because I didn't want any other woman to go through what I went through to get to ketones. And I thought they just need to know, more people need to know about them so that they can feel better. So making that switch was an easy decision, even though I had no idea what I was going to be doing. Like, I didn't know what that meant. But I just knew that sharing it was super, super important. And the community, wow, I mean, talk about feeling included for the first time ever in my life, is with no judgment, with just all belief, and was unbelievable. And my first experience was I flew to Atlanta all by my lonesome, and I went to an event. And I walked up to you, Melissa. I don't know if you remember, but I walked up to you and I introduced myself and said, hey, like, I recognize you. You're a Pittsburgh girl, and that's where I'm from as well. And you hugged me and you said, like, I'm so happy you're here. And what are you doing after the training? And I said, I don't know. And she said, well, you're joining us for dinner. And I kind of like looked behind me thinking to myself, did she just ask me to dinner? Like, to be included like that? We were complete strangers up until that point. And I thought to myself, if a complete stranger can include you and becoming like part of the community and embrace that, I knew I was in the right place. So all I had to do was pick up the tools that were laid out there for me and just, move on from there. I mean, it's just, honestly, when I did join, I thought to myself, there's no way there's this many people in the world that are this kind, this has this much belief in you. And so every month that I went by, I thought to myself, man, it's going to happen. The drama's going to start, the shoe's going to drop, and it never did. And that was 3.5 years ago. And I've met people all over the United States that I would have never met if it wasn't for me saying yes to this opportunity.
Oh, I love that. And, I remember what it felt like as a kid, like not having a place to sit at a lunch table. And so when someone comes into our community, like that's one of my biggest like missions. It's something that drives me, is to make sure people never feel like they aren't welcome. And so for you to say that, it means a lot. It means a lot because that is truly, yeah, we're here to sell ketones and help people and, make some money, but it's the relationships that are formed. It's how we all encourage each other to become better. It's like people leave here better, whether they made money or not. I have a relative and a best friend who are with us and are no longer, promoting. They drink the ketones and that's fine. And one of the things that they both recently got into real estate, and they said, Melissa, my time at Pruvit was so impactful. I had to be there because the skills that you taught me about social media, about marketing, about sales, like I am well ahead of so many of these other real estate agents who have never been taught these things. So it's an incredible thing that we can help elevate people, help people grow, help people create new skills for themselves. And that transcends just selling ketones. It really does transcend to all different aspects of your life. And so I think it's an incredible opportunity. It's an incredible community. I'm so glad you are a part of it, Kim. And
Thank you.
I just can't help but think, like, when one person says yes, what that ripple effect looks like, right? Like, had I not said yes, the girl talking about ketones that you saw would have never experienced it. You would have never experienced this. So it all happens for a reason. It's really cool to get to be part of a movement like this, and something as simple as shaking up ketones, right, in water. I know it sounds simple. I always joke we're selling white powder on the internet because we are. And it's so fun and it's so fulfilling to get to impact someone's life, right? And I think that's why I love what we get to do so much. We're not promoting jewelry or leggings, or not that there's anything wrong with, clothes or jewelry or wine or any of those things. But when you can, whether it's a side hustle or a full-time career, when you can know that there's purpose behind it and there's impact behind it, it makes it so much more fulfilling, right? And so this opportunity has provided, oh my gosh, just countless blessings in my life and so many others' lives. And I'm just grateful that you're here.
Oh, thank you. It has truly been a blessing. And just one other thing that it just came to mind is that with the holidays coming up, being in the restaurant business and being the banquet manager, I'll be honest, the holidays were hard. Like, I was exhausted. Like, it was the busiest time of the year in that business. And then this year, this will be the first time, but I'm going to host 2 Christmas dinners at my house. And I would have never said yes to that if I didn't say yes to the opportunity of being a Pruvit promoter. So because I just wouldn't have had the time or the energy or the time off, plain and simple, you know what I mean? But I said yes, like, hands up, yes. Like, I'm thrilled to be a part of that. So, and just making that difference, that shift in my life, is just, that alone is worth it. So,
oh my gosh, that literally gave me goosebumps because I just like literally saw like your granddaughter and like your future grandkids, like creating memories with you in your home at the holidays that you may have never been able to create for them had it not been, had you still been in the restaurant industry, working holidays, working nights, working weekends, being too tired to do any of the extras. So wow, that's a real big deal. That's such a big deal.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep. And just creating those moments. I mean, I remember even with holiday shopping before Pruvit and ketones, I just shopped to get it done and over with. And now I do it to create like a memorable, intentional, exciting gift that's going to make an impact on their life. And I didn't have the energy or any of that to even think past just getting through a day before,
Wow.
And now I'm living life, not just surviving it. So
I love that. And I love that anyone can do this. It's so simple. If you found this video, if someone shared this video with you and you're ready to get started on your Drink Ketones challenge, reach out to them. They can help you get started. Kim is an incredible resource. So if she shares this video with you, like, she's just one of a kind. And I hope that, something resonated with you all today, and that you can experience the impact that we've experienced here. And so with that being said, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kim. And reach out to the person who shared this video with you, and they can share more about ketones and how to get started with our Drink Ketones 10-day challenge. All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.